Hello, booktube. I have a subject for today, of course, as you'll know if you read the description of this live stream. It's the subject of you and YouTube. And I think I want to start, for convenience sake, in the narrower range of you and booktube, since I'm assuming that anybody who's watching this live stream watches booktube. And I have a million questions as to why and when and in what capacity and how much and what it does for you, why you do it. And I realize uh, I worried about this particular subject, and I realized that when I ask such questions, I am coming near to the third rail, the black box of an unanswerable question. A question that I have resigned myself is a fundamental mystery of the universe, like uh, the popularity of Joe Rogan or the nature of the Trinity, which is why anybody would watch this channel. Not anybody, probably 25 or 30 book publicists in the publishing world that I could understand why they would watch this channel. Probably 20 or 30 critics, two or three friends of mine. That won't get you above 50 people. Uh, and that's not what the subscriber count for this channel is. So I realized that by asking you why you watch BookTube, what role BookTube plays in your life, I am coming close to that third rail question of why you watch this channel. I am not asking that question. I have never yet heard. I've never yet heard a good or believable answer to that question. Lots of nice things. A lot of times when in the past, when I would bring up that question and actually ask it, people would think that I was fishing for compliments. I'm actually not. When I fish for compliments, I'll be a lot more leaden about it. I'll be a lot more heavy-handed about it. I'm really trying to figure out what you are seeing when you watch this video, when you watch my channel. What are you seeing? I honestly don't know that. I understand on some demonic levels uh, what some of the interest would be. I am the only professional book critic on BookTube. I am incredibly prolific. I'm also, extremely widely read. I've read a lot of stuff. So if you watch this channel, you're bound to get some of that. But we're not talking about me. We're not talking about me, and we're not talking about the daredevil bunny that is distracting me. There is a field within my line of sight from when I make these videos during the day, that's bordered on several sides by woods and shrubbery, and on one side by an immense wood pile. And there's a bunny that likes to hop out into the middle of that field, broad green grass with the wide open sky above him. And that is just, it constantly mystifies me. He is not close enough to any of the borders to get there if a hawk were to take an interest in him. A hawk will come down on prey like that out of the sun. The prey will not see it coming and have time to gauge, well, which direction should I go in? I just don't understand it. Maybe he's got some sort of chemical imbalance. but I'll try not to be too distracted by the Daredevil bunny because I want an answer. I want to know why you watch BookTube. Not my channel. We don't have to talk about my channel, but why you watch BookTube. What role does it play for you? For instance, a lot of people who've talked to me over the years about BookTube say that they almost exclusively play it in the background. They almost never just sit down and watch it, which is kind of understandable because it's talking heads. Most of it is talking heads. There's no real production value behind most BookTube videos. So there's nothing really to watch except the facial expressions of the person. Other people said that they once subscribed to lots and lots of channels, but over the years have intentionally unsubscribed and grown more and more selective. That is not to say, that is to touch only briefly on the rather substantial number of people who email me who say that they only watch two BookTube channels, me and Michael K. Vaughan. If that were just one person here or there, well, then maybe I'd consider it a freak. But that's a lot of people who've emailed me and said that. So, but I'm not even touching on that. I'm talking just generally. But let's look at the chat because this cannot be a long Steve stream. This actually has to end at 1 Boston time. It actually does have to end then because I have a lot of stuff to do today. But as I learned last night, one of the things that I have to do today is actually going to be a lot of fun, which I wasn't expecting. I I have a book that I have to review, 800 words or so. I can go up to 1,000, and it's due tomorrow. I'm supposed to file it first thing in the morning on Monday. And for some odd reason, I don't know why, I'm trying to rack my brains to figure it out. For some odd reason, just glancing at the book and maybe looking a little at its description on Amazon, I was under the impression that I wouldn't like it. I was under the impression that I wasn't going to prejudge it for the reviewing experience, but I was privately telling myself this will be a chore to read, and it was great. I'll be sure to spill all the details about it when I can, but it was great. So one of my writing tasks for today has gone from a dutiful chore, excuse me, to something I'll be overjoyed to do. It's just I wasn't expecting that at all. But anyway, let's look at the chat to see what you all say about booktube. This is very much me pumping you for information. So Morning Doyle says hello. Tim Gaynor says, hey there, I can't see the beginning. The beginning of the universe? None of us can. It's Planck time. You have to be just certain scientifically that it happened the way scientists extrapolate. Richard Farley. Oh, finally catching a live stream. Hope you're okay, Stephen the Bean. Yes, we're fine. The rain didn't happen yesterday. The heat and humidity are here. It's not anywhere near as bad as the rest of the country. The humidity is really noticeable. You really are exhausted when you walk around outside. Rain is predicted again today and thunderstorms. I don't believe they're going to happen. I don't believe a drop of rain will fall. I don't think a single decibel of thunder will be heard. But we shall see. Let's see here. Anna Maria Gavrila. Hello, Steve. Finally catching a live Steve stream. Well, good. Still, Richard Farley, I think your honesty and sense of fun, also your range of books bring to us. Okay, that's about me. That's about my channel. Well, that's very nice of you. I try to have fun on this channel. But what about the rest of BookTube? Let's see here. Jenny Parks. Hi, everyone. No forced socializing today, so I get to hang out here. Well, not for long. We're not doing a very long Steve stream, but welcome while you're here. NP Hunt, we watch for your expertise, welcoming personality, and blatant honesty, plus your good looks. See, I don't. Why is it that none of these things strike me as? I don't know. But we're talking about BookTube, not just this channel. This channel is a mystery. Monet Doyle, I watch YouTube with people who talk about reading books they like and what books they're reading. I have certain YouTube videos I watch. Reading This Life is here. Is this Deja Vu? Hello, Steve. Hello, everyone. Yes, this is Deja Vu. We have another Steve stream in the middle of a Boston day. Monet Doyle, unfortunately, not many people on YouTube read romance. It's true. I sit down to watch BookTube videos. I have certain favorite BookTubes to watch. So you don't do anything else while you're watching? You sit down and watch them? Angie Jones, I started watching BookTube for recommendations, but stayed for the community. Okay, so has that shaped what you watch? And do you consciously shape what you watch? Okay, so you started for the recommendations. There are plenty of channels that do recommendations. There aren't as many channels that give a sense of community, that give you a sense of a person that you're actually talking to. So did you pare down your subscriptions once you realized that those channels weren't giving you anything? Do you regularly prune or curate what you watch on BookTube? Not talking about broader YouTube here. That'll have to be another Steve stream. There just isn't time today. But do you do that? Do all of you do that? Do you curate your BookTube? If you're watching a BookTuber for years, let's say, and suddenly you realize one day, they've gone down a different path. They aren't the same channel that I subscribe to. I don't like what they're doing now. I'm just going to unsubscribe. Are you conscious about that? Self-conscious about it? Kelly. Oh, wait, where'd you go? Oh my God, look at all these comments. No. All right, we can do this. A human connection, conversation, motivation to read and become part of the conversation. I would watch a live stream about collecting dung beetles if the community had engaging chat streams. No kidding. So does that imply that you do subscribe to other communities other than just books? Lydia Joy, good morning from California. Good morning. Heart Lord, I watch BookTube to specifically get classic book recs. Sometimes I see editions I wasn't aware of before, and also I enjoy listening to the analysis and perspective on the books I've struggled with. And Monet Doyle says she also gets book recommendations on BookTube. And Britta is here. Good Lord. BookTube royalty. Happy Sunday from Cologne. Hope it's not still boiling hot in Cologne. We're getting a total pass on that kind of record-breaking, paralyzing heat and humidity here in Boston. As far as I can tell, we are going to see out the month of June with spring-like weather. I fully believe that we will pay for it in July and August, but it doesn't look to me like June is like it will be possible for June to field very hot summer days. I don't think we have time enough for that. Jenny Parks, I love watching how excited people get about books they love. I have around 150 channels that I'm subscribed to, and about 9% are BookTube. I can count on one hand how many I've stayed with. Wow. Okay, that last sentence came to me out of nowhere. Wow. So the 150 channels that you subscribe to, the 90% that are booktube are relatively new. If you can count on the fingers of one hand, the ones you've stayed with, then there must be a high turnover. Is high turnover popular among most of you? Nick Piccirilli, I've been reading a lot more since discovering booktube. The enthusiasm for books is contagious. It's the best source for recommendations. Of course, naturally, I agree. Oh my God, you little bunny. You are gonna die. I'm gonna watch it happen. I know that I will see it happen. I don't know what you're thinking. You are not fast enough to get to that woodpile before a hawk can get to you. If my dog were in that yard, she could get to you before you could get to any protection at all. Anyway, sorry, I shouldn't look in that direction. RTL, LTR, for me, I don't know anyone in my real life who reads. They play video games like Pokemon Go and waste time on social media, but nobody reads. Yes, indeed. Britta asking a typically German question: what is booktube? It's a place where you have been ruling the roost for quite some time. Andrew Russell, booktube, what is it you want to know? I want to know everything. How many channels do you subscribe to? What do you regularly watch? Are there a ton of booktube channels you subscribe to but don't watch? Do you do something else while you're watching? Are you directly invested? Do you reach out to booktube creators? The ones who say they want you to, but obviously don't, and would have their lawyer kill you if you tried, or the ones that say they want you to and they really do? Or are you just a sort of what is the lurker? Are you a lurker? A million questions about what part of your content consumption, as the tech bros say, what part of your content consumption life is filled by booktube? Not YouTube, but booktube. Benjamin T. Booktube gives me ideas for new books to read. A person's love, enthusiasm for a topic, genre, or book can convince me to give it a try. Also, I never know what's going to come out of Steve's mouth. NP Hunt, I watch booktube at work. I work as a security guard, and shifts are anywhere between 13 and 17 hours. It is not legal anywhere in the world for you to be given a 17-hour shift. So listening to people talk about books is a great way to spend all that downtime, I would imagine. Your employers don't mind if you have earbuds in. Winston Ransom, I watch for book recommendations and to hear book opinions. I know few people who read. Okay, starting to see some similar strands coming through here. Reading This Life. I started watching booktube because I had no one in real life to talk books with, especially the kind of books I enjoy. Now I talk books, hang out, and catch up with friends. Doesn't it feel that way? It is a wonderful transformation. I wonder how many people feel that. Distracted here. Andrew Russell, well, I have gained most book recs from booktube. People who are not in the booktube community seem to be largely blind to what's going on in the bookish world. It's like a worldwide book club. What a great way to put it. Nyland, too, a significant amount of booktubers don't even read the book they are talking about. You astonish me. Heartlord, in terms of your channel in particular, I lost you. It's not gonna make any sense to me, but I might as well find it and read it. In terms of your channel in particular, your humor makes it even more enjoyable, and your sheer vast knowledge makes me come back for more. I love your penguin focused videos specifically. But those, you see, I get that from people, where people say, I loved your Penguin Classic, your Daily Penguin or whatnot. But those were years ago. Those videos were years ago. And the Western Canon Starter Kit was years before that. So when I hear that, I'm always grateful that they're giving value to people, as the Dude Bro channels say. But I'd like to, they're years old. I wonder what has taken their place, if anything. Sharon Richardson, I watch booktube for recommendations from people who like similar genres as me, and often have the pleasure of picking up and enjoying a book I would have not have thought to pick up on my own. So book recommendations are coming up really strong here. They're coming up over and over again. Heartlord, I sit down and watch, no background vids for me. Interesting. I think you're in the minority. Andrew Russell, I curate my booktube. Cheerio, Simon Savage. I wasn't naming any names. Grix, etc. is here, but he redacted his message. David Wiley's here. Good Lord. Hello, Steve. Glad to catch for this one live. Yes, it's a Sunday afternoon live. It can't be long. I have a block of stuff that I have to do this afternoon, and I'm factoring in the fact that between now and when I do that block of stuff, there's got to be the day's long ramble with the bean. I don't know how long it will be. It's not oppressively hot out here. Most of the rest of the country is dealing with 90s Fahrenheit, 100 degrees Fahrenheit, 115 degrees Fahrenheit. It's nowhere near that here. But it's awful humid. It's awful oppressive outside. So I don't know how long the walk will be, but there's going to be a gap, an interval between this and all the writing that I've got to do today. 3 big things that I've got to do today. One of which is going to be a lot more enjoyable than I anticipated. It's going to be a book that I read last night. I wasn't thinking that I would like it, and I loved it. I'll tell you all about it when the time comes. Unlike everybody else who posts printed reviews or online reviews with Open Letters Review, I'm not going to blurb the contents of my review the minute that happens. I'm going to wait, as everyone should wait. To give every venue a bite at the apple, I'm going to wait. But anyway, Richard Farley, like you said, Steve, I had a lot of booktube channels, but I've pruned mine as a lot seemed to change when they got bigger, and I think they lost honesty and started to become more commercial. I wonder how many of you feel the same way, that once a booktuber starts that menu of obviously fake things, fake tells, that you just stop watching. Like they'll film like this, but they've got B-roll of them filming looking off to the side like that, or they'll have tons and tons of B-roll, or they'll have tons and tons of soft focus, or they'll have tons and tons of graphics and all sorts of calls to action about smash that like button or whatnot. I wonder if you watch a channel and it steadily grows and it starts to do all that stuff, is that a sign for you to leave it? Let's see here. NP Hunt. I tend to create channels I watch after a while, sometimes by personality, sometimes by content. I tend to give a channel a little while before I unsubscribe. Sharon Richardson, I do curate. Okay, so people are curating. That's interesting. If I don't find I'm clicking with their reading choices, I move on. What about if it's a booktube channel where it's not that you're not clicking with their reading choices, it's that they haven't made a video in a long time. They haven't closed their channel. They haven't made a video. I don't know many people who carry their curation all the way there. I don't know many people who go through their subscriber list and say, oh, I haven't heard, this person hasn't made a video in a year, so I'm going to unsubscribe from their channel. I think that's kind of rare. So this seems to be more curation based on content, which is very interesting. Let's see here. Jason Carmichael, awesome. Another early Stevestream. Yes, an early one, but a short one. We can't go on for too long this time around, unfortunately, because this is a fascinating subject. Fortunately, we can keep talking about it. We'll start with BookTube, then we'll move on to YouTube just in general. But I have a lot of questions about BookTube. Yuri, not Ure. Hello, Steve. Hello, everyone. BookTube, initially a substitute for offline conversations, turned out to be a treasure chest of recommendations and opinions from a diverse group of weird people. I agree. These are people you're never going to meet. Unless you come over to Hyde Cottage. You're never going to meet them. Jenny Parks, the only originals that I watch are you, Cam, Story Nomad, back when he was Wolfshot Publishing, and Bald Bookie. 3 people over that time. Cam was making videos before I was, under a different name, right? What was, before it was Wolfshot Publishing, what was it? I can never tell with channels that change their names. I can never tell. And Cam is still making videos. Yes. And Britta's back. I curate about twice a year, and I only stick with channels I actually watch and comment regularly. I don't believe in watch later lists. Neither do I. I don't get the point of them. If you have the time to be scrolling through BookTube and adding things to a watch later list, you should have time to watch. I think watch later lists are probably just a mausoleum for good intentions. I like this person's channel, but not enough to actually watch what they do. Winston Ransom, BookTube has encouraged me to read. I subscribe to many book channels, but skip videos based on my mood and subject matter. Sharon Richardson, I also do like to check out those who read differently than me, to dip my toe into waters of genres and topics I may have avoided in the past. I love BookTube about that myself. There are no genres that I haven't read in, but there are people who will hold up a book that I have a settled opinion on. But I've been watching them. I've been watching their videos. I've been getting to know how they think about things. And if I'm watching 10 of your videos, 12 of your videos, and I realize, okay, well, you have very different tastes than me, but you're not a moron. You're thinking about what you're doing. You're applying standards and thinking about those standards. If you let me watch all of those videos and I get to know you well enough to know that, and then you start talking about a book on which I have a settled opinion, that opinion will unsettle in a lot of cases. Not all cases, but a lot. Yuri, not Ure. Also, it's a wonderful motivation for discovering and reading more. David Wiley, it's all about the community here on BookTube. MKV was the first to make me feel welcome 2 years ago, and that has only expanded from there. Monet Doyle, I wish more booktubers read romance books. Well, I wish more people read romance books, but it's a long-standing prejudice. The Spaminator, oh goodness, you, Sean, Mark, Randy, Michael V, and so on and so forth. This corner BookTube is all I watch. If I search BookTube, I don't recognize someone, I don't have a clue who they are, and I'm not willing to learn. Greeks is back. I'm subscribed to many channels that I am not engaged, and to other channels with which my relationship is merely instrumental. However, this corner BookTube that made me start making videos. Well, here there isn't really that gap, right, between the creator and the audience. Not really at all. In most of the cases of the channels that I think you're talking about, you can just reach right out and talk to the person, which is different, not only from the rest of BookTube, but from the rest of YouTube in a lot of cases. Reading This Life, supporting newer channels has a high turnover rate. I need to purge channels that haven't posted a video within the last quarter. Yes, those of you who don't know what MJ is talking about, she is the champion of new BookTube channels, smaller BookTube channels, new BookTube channels. It's a wonderful, wonderful service that she does on her own channel. But I've noticed this myself with looking at, finding new channels, whether it was you or years and years before you made a channel. Ben Sanders used to make those kind of welcome wagon videos as well, encouraging smaller channels to stick with it, learn how to know the community. You'll like it a lot. And one thing I learned from watching a lot of those channels is that someone will make a BookTube newbie tag, maybe one other video, and then nothing. They'll just stop. Lots of them do. No, that's not a rare exception. That's I'd probably say, well, you know better than I would. I'd put it at 80% that you never hear from them again. CM Lady. Oh, wait, no, where'd you go? Let's see here. Let's get back to where you are. Oh my God, look at all these comments. Wait, let's see here. Here we go. When I first heard of BookTube, I thought it was a separate site until someone told me it was just Book Talk on YouTube. British channel was my first subscription. Well, you started off with a winner. Lydia Joy, whether it's BookTube or crafting channels, I stick with the ones that don't have that over-the-top fake enthused nonsense. It's a pass if the person has an overly animated presentation. I assume you mean me as an exception, so I can sometimes be very, very animated. But I don't think even my worst enemies would accuse my animation of being fake. But I am not an NPR presence. I'm not completely calm and collected at all times. Yuri says, Jenny, hello, no socializing on Sunday. And Jenny is responding, I've ditched the extroverts. Evening reader, I finally hit a Stevestream. Yes, we're not going for long, but we are talking about BookTube and YouTube. Andrew Russell, I subscribe to about 50 channels, of which there are firm favorites. Yourself, Britta, Mark Nash, Book Time with Elvis, supposedly fun. They've got me in some pretty good company there. NP Hunt says, I missed the library tour of doom. Yes, a few people have emailed me over the last few weeks and said, we watched the channels that you made just recently, the videos that you made in the little book room, and we saw that what you described while you were doing that is completely true. The shelves don't look a lot the same. There are tons of books in different places, tons of books that aren't there anymore. Even so, we'd like it if you just keep going through your books. I don't know. I guess if people want to do that, as long as you know it's not definitive. I know it's not definitive anymore. I can't believe I had the idiocy to think that I was going to make a definitive visual collection of my life. It was wrecked to heck and gone in a week. CM Lady, YouTube keeps recommending me your videos, but they are from 5 or 6 years ago. I've subscribed to you for years, so it's odd. I don't know anything about how YouTube recommends my videos. I assume they don't. I'm losing subscribers. Very pleasingly, I am losing subscribers, a chunk of them every day. I don't do anything that YouTube wants me to do. I don't do thumbnails. I don't do calls to action. There's nothing glitzy. There's no B-roll. There's no monetization. There's no sponsorships or anything like that. Why would they recommend? I'm not the thing they want you to do on YouTube. I don't know why they'd recommend me at all, except just algorithmically. Let's see here. The Spaminator, I watch for education also. The starter kits on your channel and others are indispensable. More, please. Yes. Yes. More starter kits. Britta is acknowledging that Andrew watches her channel, as everybody should. Let's see here. Monet Doyle says, how come romance is not big on BookTube? Well, there are lots of romance channels on BookTube. I'm not sure that you've seen them all, but RomanceTube is a thing. But I imagine that the reason it's not big on BookTube is because it's scorned by readers. It's the primary subject of scorn by readers. It's the one genre that readers, that even open-minded readers, feel comfortable dismissing. Uh, let's see here. Andrew Russell, I value honesty and a strong insight into what they are reading in what I watch. Yeah. So you would rather have someone voice a very pointed, very bristly opinion that you don't like, that you don't agree with, than have someone just be bland. I love everything, or this wasn't quite my cup of tea, but it might work for you. That cringing apology kind of assessment. So you'd rather have that, rather have opinionation. Jenny Parks, the first, I when I first found BookTube, it was all hyper YA until I found the more sane people. Yes, and the more sane people, not all of them were there then. They had to come and blaze a trail of their own. Quite a few of them did. Andrew Russell, bizarrely, I occasionally watch Criminale, even though I don't read crime or horror as a rule, just find him engaging. Of course, Criminale is a perfect example of what I'm talking about here, what a lot of you are talking about here, where you would never really consider reading the stuff that he talks about. You're there for the person. You're there for the person. And Criminale is also a really good example of the way that it is possible for your channel to get bigger while you stay genuine. It's not, in other words, what we were talking about earlier in the chat, where you watch a channel until they start to sell out as their channel gets bigger. We shouldn't make the mistake of directly equating those two. Your channel can get bigger without you selling out. Ollie's a perfect example of that. Olive is a perfect example of that. It can be done. It's just most people don't. For some odd reason, I've never been able to understand. Some people seem to be looking forward to selling out. I don't get that. I really don't get that. That's a real deep mystery for me for BookTube. Let's see, the Spaminator. I too have no bookish friends other than my wife. Even the other friends we have say that they are readers, maybe read 3 or 4 books a year, and simply don't keep up with us. BookTube is book friends. Yes, in reality, outside of our little bubble here, in reality, the people that you meet who say they are big readers read 3 books a year, 3 or 4 books a year. And they are right. If you look at the latest polls, the latest statistics, they are right. They are big readers because huge percent of the population doesn't read anything, ever. So somebody who reads 3 or 4 books a year, they are a big reader. That is absolutely true. I know some people like that. I would never dream of sneering and saying, oh, you call that reading. They're really busy. All of us are really busy, except me. I'm really busy right now, but not usually. But we make it a much bigger priority than even people who call themselves readers usually do. Camid's Journey. When a booktuber is looking for dollars, I stop. I want authenticity and real readers. RTL LTR wants most of their videos are top 10 lists. I immediately unsubscribe. It's usually a sign they are more concerned about upgrading to a larger house than making good content. Some of the videos, some types of videos that fish for clicks are pretty easy to spot. And that is why I tend to argue against monetizing a channel, because you're only human. And if you realize that there's a direct connection between this kind of video and more money at the end of the month, how are you going to resist that? Month after month after month, it is almost unavoidable that it will start to shape your content. And I don't want to watch an algorithm's content. I want to watch your content. But that's me. I want to know about you. I'm distracted here because the suicide bunny is he's just idly munching on grass. He hasn't looked up once in 20 minutes. He hasn't assessed his surroundings in 20 minutes. We're not even talking about hawks. There are hawks and owls in the trees around here. We're not even talking about them. We're talking about feral cats. This neighborhood has a very robust population of feral cats. Anyway, let's see here. Book Time with Elvis. I think some booktubers here. I had never even watched BookTube before I made a channel. Oh, you've got to be rare in that regard. Andrew Russell, I wish Adam from Memento Mori was still about. His content was golden. Yes, and his hair was golden. And his skin had that golden burnish to it. He was truly a golden boy. I wish he would return as well. Don't blame Britta. She has been in the front lines trying to get him back onto BookTube. It doesn't work. Those of us who are who are stuck here, those of us who love it so much that we won't leave, old timers now, are often in this position where we are a liaison with someone who isn't part of booktube anymore that everybody wishes would come back. With Britta, it's Adam. With me, it's David Murphy. Where I don't anyone who's ever he's made it hard for people to know who he is because he nuked his channel. Don't ever do that. If you're a booktuber and you decide to leave your channel up, leave your videos up. They're not embarrassing. Not going to hurt your job prospects. But even so, some people do remember his channel content. He's made a few videos that he hasn't leaked recently. And I get emails at least once a week. People saying, you know him. He's visited Hyde Cottage a few times. You're obviously friends. Could you get him to make regular booktube videos? And I'm sure the critic gets the same thing about Adam, but there's only so much you can do. You either make the space in your day for this kind of activity or you don't. And if you stop, that space fills in with other things. But anyway, Evening Reader, I'm still curating as a new booktuber. Also agree, no watch later. Anna Maria, I set aside time for booktube, no background for me. I have a few channels I watch regularly. Personality matters, but if I feel a creator is not genuine, then praising books I give up on. When praising books, I give up on. Okay, so personality, but they have to mean it. That's a strong thread that's coming through here. Shelley Swearingen, I'm getting booktubers here. That's very nice. I greatly enjoy when folks talk passionately about the books they love or disdain. Often I'll continue to watch for the booktuber's personality. CM Lady, I subscribe to hundreds of booktubers. Wow, so do I, but I don't know many people that have a high number like that. I tend to watch you, Britta, and a lot of British booktubers who actually read even when I disagree about books. Even Britta and I will disagree sometimes, and that's noteworthy because Reddit says we're husband and wife. Like I think just recently she read, what was it? Katja Hoyer's book on East Germany, and I don't think she liked it. So there you go. I liked it a lot, and I don't think she did. Let's see here. Shelley Swearingen, yay, worldwide book club. Yes, really is what this is. It's not. It's more than a book club. It's a worldwide network of friends, which is terrific. I didn't expect that was possible. I didn't think that was possible. I was told by friends of mine who do YouTube for a living that was impossible. I was directly told that. Sharon Richardson, I do unsubscribe from those that no longer post unless there is content I may want to refer back to. I don't like having a huge list on my screen. Heather Gregg is here. Definitely a curate subscriptions list. Every couple of months I get an itch for new input and look for new channels and cut people whose channel is not continuing to interest. Yuri, I only unsubscribe from annoying personalities I can no longer tolerate. The ones I enjoyed watching remain even if they hibernate. Jordan Parsons, hello. I know Jordan's another example. Everybody wants him back on BookTube. And I don't believe it's any ill will. I think it's just what I always say, that you make a space for this weird activity. And if you stop, that it fills in again. And you've got to force it open again in order to do it. But let's see here. I'm hoping that annoying personalities comment of yours was not directed at me. Let's see here. Book Time with Elvis is thanking Andrew Russell. Very nice to hear that. Griggs is back. This specific area of BookTube demands mutual feedback. It doesn't feel unilateral. The booktubers that are part of it look horizontally at their subscribers, which makes it feel like a conversation. Absolutely, that's a good way to put it. It is very horizontal. Those of us who get in front of a camera and make videos, it doesn't feel like it does in so many other aspects of YouTube, where once you become a so-called content creator, there's some sort of gradation between you and the mere hoi polloi who watch. Because everybody that makes booktube videos in this little corner of booktube also merely watches. This is just a case where the watchers are making the content. You don't have to be sexy like I am. You don't have to be a drop-down expert like I am. You don't have to be any of those things. You can be anybody. Monet Doyle, I watched Sarah of the Bookish Knitter. Oh, wait, I lost you. Here, let's get you back. I don't know why this bumps like that. It shouldn't. I have control of every other aspect of this, except that sometimes it jumps like that. Must be something I'm doing. Let's get back to Monet. What did she have to say? I thought I saw Sarah's name in there. Oh my God, we're never going to get to all of these channels. That's just not going to happen. Let's see here. Let's go. Oh my God, we have to end this at 1, so I'm never going to get to these comments. Okay. All right. This jumped by about 300 comments. I don't know why it does that. I'm going to go back to where we were up to the top. Where? Oh no, I'm way beyond. Oh my god. Oh my god. All right. Well, here let's. I'm dealing with the chat poorly, and that's not good. That's not good. Monet says, I watched Sarah the Bookish Knitter, Krista of Books and Jams, and Jen of the Book Refuge, and others. Andrew Russell saying, book time with Elvis and Britta, no probs, you deserve it. They do. They do. When somebody is just really good at this thing, that you just know it. Andrew Russell, I also like Fraser Simon's insights. Jack says, glad I caught this one. Hello, everyone. Jenny Park says, BookTube got me back into reading sci-fi and horror, started romance. Still to properly try Western and mystery. Well, Western, you never have a better chance than June on the Range. And of course, I am on record as saying, as much as I love March Mystery Madness, I wish there was another. I read mysteries all year long. It feels so. It'd be great if there were, not something, quite as specific as devoted to Agatha Christie or something like that, but another big mystery event. I always hope that Elizabeth and Lizzie Faye Loves Books will just come up with a satellite March Mystery Madness event in the summer. But anyway, Andrew Russell, I tend to steer away from channels that simply praise. Well, some of them, you know why they're doing that, and that is definitely a reason to drop them. Jack says, BookTube and YouTube in general, I value an authentic experience driven by an authoritative host. Okay. Phew, I thought you were going to say authoritarian host. Jenny Parks, I have a morbid love of rant reviews. The Spaminator, there's something particularly offensive to me about fake readers and fake reading channels. I do know why it gets under my skin. I don't know why it gets under my skin, but it does. Well, especially if those fake reading channels are really, really popular, and most of them are. Most of the most popular BookTube channels are people who wouldn't read a book from start to finish with a gun to their head. And it's pretty obvious, a couple of them, one of whom has reader in the title of their channel, have actually made videos admitting that. Just outright admitting it. The grift is completely transparent. I don't really read any of these books that I talk about. I mostly scroll on my phone. Wigsy, don't think I know that name. In a world of declining readership, the enthusiasm found on BookTube brings me hope and comfort about the future of writing and reading. I stayed for the authenticity of the personalities. Monet says, I watch Michael K. Vaughan, but he doesn't talk about romance, but his vlogs are entertaining. Yeah, you can't miss Michael K. Vaughan's channel. Lydia Joy, no, I didn't mean you. Your enthusiasm is authentic. Your channel is my favorite book. Oh, thank you. Well, I worried when you talked about it. I do enthuse. I do not have any self-control. When it comes to talking about books, I don't have any self-control. Yuri says, rants are the best, but personality matters most. Jack says, grounded positivity matters too. It's very easy to surrender to a toxic mentality. The Spaminator, I would rather have harsh opinionated reviews than softball tiptoeing. All right, I'm getting a lot here. And some commonalities are coming out here, loud and clear. Jack, definitely there for the person. There's a lot of dialogue on books, though through countless channels. It's the host that keeps me engaged. Okay, the Vegan Heretic. I don't think I know that name. I found many channels long ago, stopped watching over time because they were too highly monetized. Some people make 5-minute videos with ads before and even twice during, generally not even worth it. I would argue that nothing is worth that. They could be doing a read aloud of a lost book of Aristotle. If they have mid-roll ads, I'm going to turn it off. Jenny Parks, does anyone else get weird calling each other friends despite never meeting? I feel like I'm just assuming that it's okay. We often talk about the effect that the internet has had on our lives. I don't think we talk about it enough, believe it or not. I don't think we assess this thing that is part of our lives. I think too often, especially people who predate the internet, tend to think of it as, in their minds, as TV, where you had your life and you had your favorite radio shows and you had all your friends on the block and further out from that, and you had the shops you go to and jobs you go to and things that you do for fun and the reading that you do up in your room. And then there's this thing in the living room. You have this TV, and you can go and watch the TV for a bit. And I think we too readily think of YouTube that way, of the internet that way, and it's not. It's not that way at all. It's far, far more invasive, far more all-encompassing. And it creates not to get all Marxian on you, but it creates a reality of its own. When people that I interact with all the time on email, never met them, probably never will meet them, when they refer to themselves as my friends or I refer to myself as their friend, that is real. I remember realizing that probably 6 years ago on YouTube, thanks to this channel. I remember suddenly realizing, wait a minute, that's real. That's not virtually real. That is real. And I put it to the test. I've had occasion to put it to the test. I've had lots of people come over here. I've sent people lots of things and had them send me lots of things. Anyway, it is okay. In my opinion, it is definitely okay. CM Lady, I deleted a lot of booktubers who just seem to shill for subscription boxes. I got fed up hearing Owl Crate every other video. Yeah, I feel sorry about that sort of thing. I understand it because you get a channel and then you suddenly realize, oh, well, I've got to produce content for my channel. And if I get a subscription service, that gives me something to talk about. I get something in the mail. When I always want to take that person aside and say, well, no, you've got that exactly reversed. It shouldn't be you start a channel and then you hunt around for content. It should be that you see that you've got content and so you start a channel. But Andrew Russell, the suicide bunny, yes, well, I guess that's what I'm going to call him. He's still out there. He's still like completely ignoring his surroundings. And he's also pigging out, which is not going to help with his reaction speed if a hawk really does come out of the sun. It's impossible not to think about it. I'm going to watch the suicide bunny die. I know that I am. I've never seen an animal act this way before. There wasn't rabid. Anyway, Jenny, if it's not Owl Crate, then it's Book of the Month or Loom Crate. Or yeah, I know. They're all over the place. Jack, we're all rooting for the brave bunny. I'm not rooting for him at all. He's not acting normally. He deserves to die as an example to the bunnies that I'm sure are watching. I'm sure that he has friends in the shrubbery or on the border of the woods saying, what are you doing? Come back. Jack says, David Murphy is a great loss. Well, I agree. I was dumbfounded when he nuked his channel. I wasn't dumbfounded when he walked away from BookTube. Plenty of people do that for all kinds of reasons. Life gets in the way. But to get rid of your videos, not just to darken them, but to destroy them, he was great. We'll all miss him. The Spaminator, I think I average about 30, 40 books a year. Never counted. Curious to hear from everyone how many books they read in a normal year. But that changes the subject, Spaminator. The subject is YouTube, not book consumption. You're not asking me how many books I read in a year. Anyway, Jack says, it's disgusting to see someone sell out. I'm not here for a sales pitch. And you do see it. It does happen, even on BookTube. It does happen. And that's a shame. You get a sponsor, you get a deal of some kind. You even if you don't get that, you see that you can make more money if you make a kind of content that the algorithm likes. And then suddenly the algorithm is programming your videos. Monet says, I like when you mention romance books, especially cowboy romance books. I got a lot. I mentioned I did two cowboy romances in a row for June on the Range, and I got a lot of emails from people saying, could you do more cowboy romances before June on the Range ends? And I don't know if I will, but keep in mind, I have that second romance channel with Sarah at the Bookish Knitter, so I can talk about cowboy romances like Cow Comes Home over there, even if I don't get in another one for June on the Range. Jenny Parks, Britta and Steve, proof that long distance can save a marriage. I don't know. Considering how many long disjointed rants Britta gets on the Voxer, she's probably contemplated the divorce courts or an assassin many times. On point, publishers would be wise to publish more content on YouTube, such as author interviews, book analysis, discussions. Always interesting here. I'm amazed that they don't seem to know about BookTube. Barely at all. I'm amazed at that. I'm not meaning to bring this discussion around to me, but I'm amazed that publicists I haven't dealt with, publicists in the mainstream publishing in America that I don't know, the ones that I do know probably would not think I'd be interested, but the ones that there are plenty that I don't know. And no, not one of them has ever approached me and said, I've read your work in the Wall Street Journal, Washington Post. I know that you're a professional critic. I know that I'm not going to bully or browbeat you. But if I send you a box of books, I don't know if I'll get a review out of you for any of them, but I do know that I've watched your channel and that you're going to hold them up and talk about them in an engaged way, an informed, engaged way with thousands of readers. I will take that. That is, I will absolutely take that. I'm amazed that more publicists don't do that. Almost no indie publishers, indie books, indie authors do that with me. It might just be me. Maybe they hate me because I smell. But anyway, Angie Jones, I stay for hibernating booktubers missing the bookish Brians. Yeah, we don't know. Are they hibernating or not? Britta, Katja Hoyer's book, nope, just nope. I don't like all that human interest stuff in my nonfiction, and it could have been a third of the size and give the same amount of info. Well, but the human interest stuff was part of what the author was trying to write. It's not like you could just strain that out. But I saw that you didn't like it, and I also saw it. Did I see a recent Instagram post that you were giving another of her books a try? Andrew Russell, the booktubers I really like bring more to the table than just book conversation. They are an interesting, if often eccentric group of people. Eccentric, they are doing a lot of very diplomatic work. Thank you very much. But I agree, and that is clearly the thread here that I'm getting, is that almost all of you are watching. I thought at first it was going to go a different route because a lot of your initial comments were, I do this for recommendations, which doesn't rely on personal contact or personality at all, or genuineness or authenticity. But since then, by far the majority has been that you stay for the people. Hi, baby. What you doing? Come up here. Friends, your fans could see you. Come here. No? Come here. Come on, baby. Let your fans see you. Come on. You can do it. Come on. Come on, baby. You can do it. There you go. Oh, no. You're not going to go all the way up there. No. There you go. Go on. I'll get the pillow out of you. There you go. Oh, there you get some free yoga. All right. Oh, let's see here. Jack, another loss from BookTube, strip cover lit. I'm aware of the controversy that develops. Regrettable state of affairs. Yes. There was a controversy. When I look back on it, I'm not sure that I like how the BookTube community behaved about that controversy, including myself to a certain degree. So I don't know. That was a great channel, the back and forth there between. Let's see here. Nerdishly Active. I don't think I know that name. Mike's Book Reviews is a great example of a channel that can be both good and extremely frustrating. The dude obsesses on his channel metrics, subscribers, views, likes. It's a real turnoff. Yeah. I was wondering if this conversation was going to turn to specific names. I'm okay that it does. None of these specific names. No bigger channels watch my channel. They don't know that I exist. Or they do know that I exist, but they very pointedly ignore me because I've got some sort of Mean Girls hashtag stink on me or whatever. But he is a very good example, because you get the distinct impression when you watch his channel that if you sat down across a picnic table from him and talked books, you'd never find a more interesting person to talk books with. That is the distinct impression you get when you watch his channel. But oh my God, when you watch his channel, you are watching a channel. You are watching a thing where you are being counted on to generate money for the showman who is in front of the camera. It couldn't be less authentic. Even though he's giving his honest opinions about things, it couldn't feel less authentic. And you get the distinct impression that if you sat with him alone, if you were here for wine and calzones, the book talk would be great. It is frustrating. I agree. Andrew Russell, I might even be persuaded to try romance after hearing you talk about it, Steve. Just let me know. I'll be happy to walk you through it. Evening Reader is responding to the Spaminator. Only about 50, 55 books a year for me. Low for a booktuber, but I love how booktube channels, especially people like Steve and Britta, are helping me hone what I read. Andrew, I love asking booktubers what they have read lately. Steve, have you read? Sterling reads, I've been watching your channel for 7 years now. After 4 years of watching you, I decided to make my own. Good for you. Not the 7 years part. That's probably very bad for you. But making your own, everybody should try it. Except Spaminator, of course. Andrew Russell, his Old Blues chapter and verse still going. Last I heard, he was going through a tough time and having a hiatus. I don't think that Jason has nuked his channel. I think he's just, sometimes you step away from BookTube. Kelly's still making videos. And, that's perfectly okay. Nobody wants this to be a grind. But I don't think that he's gone for good. Andrew Russell, Brit Ebola, is that Iron and Blood? Was going to try that one. Blood and Iron even. Evening Reader, I love a good Steve Mail rant. I tend to keep this on online talk radio. Uh, uh, okay, evening reader, but I really just here for Frida. Yes, Frida is back up at her window. She won't stay there long because it's a little too warm and sticky. And that window really gets it in the afternoon. So she won't be up there long. But we have to wrap this up anyway. So it's not going to be a Frida show forever. And I don't feel all that horrible because I'm giving you people lots of videos every day too, in addition to these Stevestreams. This one has to have a hard ceiling, unlike a lot of them. Let's see here. Jack, for many people, friendship originates from sitting near someone at school. For me, it's about mutual interests. That's the heart of BookTube. Well, yeah, mutual interests and also all of the aspects of friendship. The reaching out, the being there when someone needs you. That all happens online as well as in real life. So I don't know why we keep insisting on this weird distinction between the two. Jason says, I spend more time watching BookTube than actually reading. Your channel has been a safe haven from endless recommendations and wonderful literary criticism. Sulika, I have lovely friends, but none of them are readers. So I feel so happy to find there are people for whom reading is part of their lives, as it is for me. So good to belong to this family. Jenny Parks, I love the first few videos with Frida when she destroyed one book and left the rest alone. Yes, when she was a tiny little nugget, she used to destroy things, including packaging. She couldn't wait for me to hand her packaging. Now, if I handed her packaging, she wouldn't know what to do. She would totally ignore it. The Spaminator. This part of BookTube is the only positive social internet experience that I've had. For a 30-year-old cynical young man, that's an incredible thing. Thank you all. I tend to agree. This little corner of BookTube is kind of unique on YouTube. Although we have our dramas from time to time. They do crop up. Andrew Russell's responding to the Spaminator, 50 to 100, spiked at 125 in 2020 for obvious reasons. Kevin's Journey, how many books do you, Steve, read in a year? There's no point in saying the number, and no one ever believes it. No one ever believes it, so there's no point. Take the Spaminator's number, triple it, and that's what I do in a month. But no one believes it, even though I amply demonstrate it. So Nasser, hey, Steve, are we talking about our favorite booktubers today? No, I was talking about BookTube in general. I'd love to do another Stevestream on specific booktubers. That might get a little bit dishy because I would encourage you all to name names and we could just talk about channels. I would hope that it wouldn't descend into ad hominem stuff, except by me. But I would hope the rest of you wouldn't do that. But not today. Today was just the role, how you use BookTube and why you watch what you watch. I've got a ton of great info here. Jenny Parks, cutest fur baby in the world. Frida is pretty cute. I thought I had years and years where I just had ordinary beagles. And I had so many of them, nobody ever concentrated on any one of them. And then I got Lucy, my basset hound. Found her in traffic. And basset hounds are kind of rare anyway. In this neck of the woods, you don't see that many of them, although I currently live next door to one. But Lucy was also unbelievably cute, and unbelievably friendly. And so I became an entourage. Then also ran to a neighborhood star. And then when people tended to ignore Malin because Lucy was so adorable, she was so cute. But then when my girls got really old, when they got old at the same time, they were the same age, so they started to get a white face and then the clear eyes because they couldn't see anymore. And then they started to walk very, very slow. And once they were both really old together, then both of them were stars. Then the whole neighborhood, people would slow down and take pictures of them. People would time their own evening walks to meet them. And I thought when Lucy and Malin were really, really old, when they were dying, I thought, well, that was an experience, but I'm sure that won't ever happen again. And Frida is twice the celebrity in this neighborhood than they ever were. Who are we here? Andrew Russell, what happened to Strip Cover Lit? Well, they had Adrian had accusations leveled against him for private improprieties, and that splits the having a team BookTube channel is really hard to do anyway, and that I think fatally unbalanced the chemistry there. So Dalton eventually just stopped doing it. Adrian still makes videos, but I think he does anyway. But as a collaboration, they were a lot of fun. Let's see here. Yuri, not Ure. Confession. I often get attracted by style, looks, and books. Looks matter. Steve's a good example. But stay for accent, rich vocabulary, and voice. Mark, Sean, Randy Ray, to name a few. Uh, that Mark is Book Time with Elvis, right? When you all are saying Mark, you're saying Book Time with Elvis. You're not talking about Mark Richardson. He's been gone for a while. I don't know what anybody would say about his accent, like rocks grinding together. Jack says, insert literary pun here by Jennifer Hay. Yep. Another outstanding channel that rarely updates. Yeah, Jennifer rarely updates. And if she's watching, she never visits. She never calls. A couple of visits. That's all I got out of her. Be nice if I got more. Just saying. Anyway, that reading guy, another early Stevestream. Are you trying to get me distracted from reading? No, this has to wrap up. We have to wrap up at 1. So I'm not going to get through all these comments. It's not going to happen. Jenny Parks, I have an Amazon wish list of all the available Kindle versions of the books that make it to Steve's best of science fiction and fantasy of the year. Great way to find new stuff. Britta says, hubby, you need to get to work now and earn us some money. Yes, I do have. I have 3 things that I have to do this afternoon. In addition to taking care of the bean, 3 things. And one of them was going to be a drudge. I thought it was going to be a murderously joyless 800-word book review. And I read the book last night, and it was great. I can't wait. I'm going to be, the only bad part of that book review now is going to be stopping at 800 words. So that's wonderful. That feels like a weight lifted off. The rest of it will be a drag. Yes, Jenny says to get that support money. Yuri says, Jenny, wow, could you possibly share this wish list? How to do that? I don't know how to do it. Lou G, I came for beauty and makeup related videos years ago, but have stayed for BookTube. My love of classics probably never would have happened had it not been for BookTube. Wow, that's incredible. That reading guy says, what's the topic? The topic was BookTube and how you use BookTube, but I have to wrap this up, so the topic is over. Nasser, oh, okay, I generally watch BookTube just to see people enthuse about books they love and thrash the ones they hate. Although there are channels where I just go to hear the person talk, like with you. Okay. The Vegan Heretic, off topic, forgive me if this is a worn out question, but I finished reading The Castle last night. I couldn't help thinking about Bean. Is she Frida or Frida? She's the first. Frieda. Andrew Russell, BookTube has definitely made me a more discerning reader. Apart from the recommendations, it also has greatly improved my critical faculties. Oh, fascinating. We don't have time to pursue this. Yuri says, Jenny, a link here. Maybe doesn't work. Book recommendations are a bonus. CM Lady says there's a certain cute male British booktuber who says he loves to read, but only reads the jacket descriptions. His cuteness doesn't keep me interested. I don't know who you could mean. Is he a fan of short form? Is he a fan of Blinkist? Did he just spend a whole week swanning at a fashion show? Because that is where he belongs, in the fashion industry, where I would not have any problem. That is where he belongs. The fashion industry knows it. Why doesn't he? That reading guy, we all watched Steve for the books, but stayed for Frida. Jack says, it's always a pleasure. Thank you, Steve, in live chat. And the Spaminator says, got a minor injury wrestling last night. Gets me out of yard work today. I'll be reading all day after this stream. Well, yes, and the stream has to end. Now, that's a fine way to end things. I have learned a lot. This has been wonderful. So many more questions. So many more. I didn't even get to the part of the subject, which is how has BookTube changed you as a reader? That's endless right there. I just made it wanted to know how you use BookTube. Do you curate your list? What are the criteria? Do you have things on in the background? Do you feel what Grix referred to as that horizontality, where this isn't a hierarchy? I'm not an audience looking at someone up on a stage. It's very, very even keeled. I'm talking with friends. All of those things, I've learned so much about that, but there's so much more to learn. We'll have to do a part 2 to this, but I have to wrap this up now. I was really kind of thinking that this would be the Stevestream where the Suicide Bunny actually bought the farm. But we're ending the Stevestream, and he's still out there, just constantly picking. He's put on 2 pounds of weight since I've been watching him. He couldn't get to any verge now if he tried. He's counting on the fact that the neighborhood hawks and owls will not pay him any attention. That's just crazy. That is just crazy. Anyway, I'm going to wrap this up for now. Thank you all so much for indulging me here, but I've got to go. I've got to walk the bean and get to work. But I'll be there in emails, of course, and on Voxer. If you want to Voxer me, I'm always on Voxer. And I will be uploading my usual slate of videos. The fact that I'm doing an hour-long Stevestream doesn't change that. But anyway, I've got to go just in case thunderstorms really do pop up here in the afternoon. I want to have everything done and the hatches battened down before that happens. I don't think it's going to, but we shall see. Anyway, I'll be back. I have a lot more questions about booktube, how it's changed you, and also broader YouTube. And we could actually do what somebody suggested earlier on, which is specific booktubers. Talking about specific booktubers. I mean, nobody watches these live streams but us, and that would be fascinating. I think we could probably do that while avoiding, nasty catcalling. I think that would be possible to do. We'll have to give it a try, but I'm going to have to wrap this up for now. So sorry. We can't even get to 10 past the hour. It's just got to stop now. But I'll be back. We'll do this again. Thank you, BookTube. Oh, man. This is so great. I swear.